He stared at the screen, his heart hammering against his ribs. The number was $80,000. It was the last of his life savings, the sum total of a decade of hard work, and he was about to send it all into a digital void. This was an investment. He knew deep down this was a ransom. On the other end of the line, the woman he loved, a woman he'd never met, was telling him this was the only way to buy her freedom, the only way to save her life. With a trembling finger, he clicked confirm. For a single breathless moment, he felt a wave of relief. He had done it. He had saved her. He messaged her, his hand shaking. "It's done. I love you. Are you safe?" The reply came a minute later. It wasn't what he expected. It was just 5 words. "They know who you are." And then she was gone. Her profile was deleted. The crypto platform he'd sent the money to was a 404 error. The woman he loved had vanished. This is the story of Alex, a man who believed he was in a whirlwind online romance, when in reality, he was the target of a brutal international syndicate. A syndicate that doesn't just steal your money. They deal in violence, coercion, and human lives. This wasn't a catfish. It was a hostage situation disguised as a love story. Before the nightmare, there was just loneliness. Alex was a successful IT professional with a comfortable life, but his apartment was quiet. The silence was deafening. His escape was a sprawling online game called Aethelgard, a fantasy world where he wasn't just Alex, the guy from IT. He was a leader, a powerful warrior, the head of a thriving guild. It was in this digital kingdom that he felt important, needed, and it was here in the pixels and code that a predator found its perfect mark. Her name was Luna. Her character, a healer, was new to his guild, but she played like a veteran. She was witty, intelligent, and her messages were magnetic. They clicked instantly. Their conversation started in the game's public chat, but quickly became the highlight of his day, often lasting for hours after their guild activities ended. She told him she was a freelance graphic designer living in Singapore, painting a vivid, enchanting picture of her life. Soon, she suggested they move to a private messaging app, away from the game. At the time, it felt like the natural next step in their budding romance. In reality, it was the first critical move in the scammer's playbook. Isolate the target. On the private app, the relationship accelerated at an impossible speed. This is a tactic investigators call love bombing. Luna flooded Alex with affection, calling him her hero, her rock, telling him she'd never met anyone so kind and strong. They exchanged photos. She was, of course, beautiful. They started having phone calls, and her voice was as captivating as her words. She was creating the illusion of a perfect soulmate, a fantasy built on a carefully constructed script. For 6 months, Alex lived in this dream. The loneliness that once filled his apartment was gone, replaced by the constant ping of messages from Luna. He was in love, completely and utterly. He was being fattened up, emotionally primed for the slaughter. He had no idea the woman he was falling for was likely a captive, forced to read from a script under the threat of unspeakable violence. The first sign of the darkness beneath the surface came subtly. Luna told him she was in trouble. She claimed her laptop, essential for her design work, had been smashed during a violent argument with a family member she was indebted to. She was distraught, not just about the laptop, but about her safety. She didn't ask for money directly, but painted a picture of desperation. Alex, playing the role of her hero, offered to help. He sent $500. It felt good to be her protector. A month later, the situation escalated. She sent him photos of horrific bruises and claimed the people she owed money to had attacked her own mother to pressure her. The hospital documents she sent looked genuine. She said she was terrified, trapped, and needed $2,000 to pay them off and cover the medical bills. Questioning her felt like a betrayal. Alex was so emotionally entangled, so deep in the narrative of being her savior, that he wired the money without a second thought. This began a horrifying pattern. The requests became more frequent and more elaborate. The emergencies were no longer accidents. They were acts of violence perpetrated by a shadowy group that was holding her captive. She told him the syndicate she was trapped and used a specific cryptocurrency platform to launder their money. This is a core component of modern pig butchering scams. where romance is a cover for a fraudulent investment scheme. She presented the platform as a way for them to fight back, a way to make quick money to pay off her debt and finally be free. To prove the platform was real, she had to make a small initial investment. He put in $5,000 and watched in amazement as the dashboard showed it growing to $7,000 in a week. They even let him withdraw a small amount to build his trust. Convinced it was their path to a future together, he poured in more. $10,000, then $20,000. Each time, the numbers on the screen soared, and Luna cheered him on, reinforcing the fantasy that they were building a life together. In total, he had sent over $40,000. Then came the final, devastating blow. Luna called in a panic, her voice laced with genuine terror. She said the syndicate was moving her, that this was their last chance. They demanded a final payment of $80,000 to clear her debt. If she didn't pay within 24 hours, he would never hear from her again. She made it clear what that meant. This was no longer an investment. It was a life or death ultimatum. Blinded by love and sheer terror for her safety, Alex did the unthinkable. He liquidated his retirement fund, his savings, every cent he had. He transferred the final $80,000, bringing the total to over $120,000. And that's where he got the final, chilling message. They know who you are. Then silence. The website vanished. Her profile was gone. The love of his life had been a ghost. The financial loss was staggering, but the emotional devastation was worse. It wasn't just a breakup. It was a realization that the entire relationship was a meticulously planned operation. As Alex, the IT problem solver, began to dig, he uncovered a terrifying reality. He was a victim of a pig-butchering syndicate, massive criminal organizations based in Southeast Asia that often use trafficked and enslaved workers. Law enforcement agencies have revealed that the people running these scams are often prisoners themselves. They are lured with fake job offers and then trapped in guarded compounds, forced to work 16-hour days scamming people online. If they fail to meet quotas, they face beating, starvation, or worse. The Luna Alex fell in love with was likely a real person, but one who was also a victim, reading a script with a gun to her head. Her disappearance wasn't just a digital ghosting. In that world, when a scammer's work is done or their cover is blown, they often disappear for good. The violence she described was likely real, just not happening to her fictional family. It was happening to her. Alex reported everything to the FBI, but the chances of recovering money funneled through international crypto networks are almost zero. In 2023 alone, the FBI reported over $1.14 billion in losses to romance scams. And that's only what's reported. Most victims remain silent, crippled by shame. Alex is rebuilding his life from nothing. The financial loss is a deep wound, but the psychological trauma of knowing you were manipulated by someone who is themselves a captive is a daily struggle. He survived, and his story is now a warning. First, if you meet someone online, be wary of moving the conversation to a private, encrypted app like WhatsApp or Telegram. Scammers do this to isolate you from any oversight. Second, watch for emotional acceleration or love bombing. Intense declarations of love and a constant push for an us against the world narrative are giant red flags. Real relationships take time to build. Third, and most importantly, never, ever mix romance with financial advice, investments, or requests for money. The moment an online partner you've never met mentions a financial crisis or a secret, guaranteed profit crypto scheme, you are no longer a partner. You are a target. These criminal syndicates thrive on your silence. They count on victims being too ashamed to tell anyone. Do not give them that power. If a situation online feels wrong, it is wrong. Talk to a friend, a family member, or law enforcement. My $120,000 is gone, but if this story prevents one person from falling into the same trap, it's a price I'm willing to have paid. The digital world is full of amazing connections, but also provides cover for some of the world's most brutal predators. Stay aware, stay skeptical, and stay safe. Thank you for listening. If you want to learn more about how to protect yourself and your family from these sophisticated scams, please subscribe to our channel.